Marvin Harrison Jr., Maserati Marv, whatever you want to call him, will instantly be a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. But before we jump into why Marv is a problem, let's get to know the man behind the name.
At the 19, McCord over the middle, Harrison Jr. again, down the sideline, Maserati Marv, touchdown.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is a wide receiver at OSU, and he has NFL teams salivating at the idea of drafting him in this year's draft. Now let's break down some numbers. Marvin stands at a 6'4" frame with a 40 time of 4.39. I mean, he's not just fast, this dude is strong and fast, and he rivals someone like a DK. I know DK is a freak of nature, but Marv is not that far behind. And when you're talking about the speed, the 4.39, that's an 86th percentile historically at the NFL Combine for his position. And while Marv is not that physical powerhouse like we see with the DK, he's got the skills for days. With a draft rating of 94 out of 100, he is and will be a force to be reckoned with on the field. That's why all these teams are willing to draft him in those top 5 and honestly top 3 picks. Now let's talk about what he's done on the field. And in 2021 as a freshman, he didn't really get much run-in as that wide receiver, as he only had 11 receptions for 139 yards with 3 touchdowns. And when you compare that to 2022 and 2023, that can honestly be just one game for Marvin Harrison. As we see in 2022, he had 77 receptions, almost 1,300 yards, and 14 touchdowns. And then he follows that up his junior year with 62 receptions, almost 1,100 yards, and 13 touchdowns. This guy is insane, and as a sophomore, he was named the Big Ten Wide Receiver of the Year. Not to mention being a finalist for the award that I could never pronounce, but you know what it is, and obviously an unanimous All-American. I mean, this guy is racking up achievements like it's nothing, and I don't see him too far off of the NFL's top receivers right now. Now, let's talk about why Marv is a problem for the opposing teams. First up, his strengths. Marvin's not just a receiver, he is quite literally a game changer. With his soft hands, acrobatic catches, and top-notch route running, he is quite literally the total package. Some of the catches that you see are insane, and no one can replicate them other than Pickens or anybody like that. This guy has such great hands that he is a quarterback favorite. And when you pair that with him breaking tackles and the ability to block downfield, that is versatility at its finest. And when you look at these rookie wide receivers, these rookie running backs, any rookie in the NFL, one of the main reasons why they don't play is because they cannot block. And we see a lot of late season breakouts because they are learning to block downfield, they are learning the schemes, and with Marvin, I don't see him not starting from day one and making an impact on an NFL team. And all the benefits just don't stop there. We're talking about his athleticism. He bench presses 380, broad jumps over 10 feet, and he clocks in at a 23.5 as his fastest speed. This guy is a freak of nature, and when you combine that with his elite speed and size, you have a player that is quite literally a nightmare for defenses and defensive coordinators. And now we're going to go into the weaknesses, which will probably take me about 20 seconds, but obviously Marvin has some areas to work on, and those exist with the cuts and the separation underneath, and he doesn't have the sharp cuts that you look as a top wide receiver. Yes, he has some very slick sideline catches and his footwork is crazy, but those cuts and creating separation underneath, you can see him get pressed and kind of get lost in that aspect of the game. And when you look at games this season, just as the Rutgers first half, you can kind of see that brewing from the start, but it's Marvin Harrison Jr. This guy's going to be a stud. Yes, he has some areas to grow, and it's honestly just those two. And I see the last half of his rookie season, I see him put it all together, and I think that he will be, again, a top 10 wide receiver that we see. So in summary, Marvin Harrison Jr. is and will be a force to be reckoned with on the field, and just based off his 2022 and 2023 performance, he is the cream of the crop in college football. And with a perfect blend of size, speed, and skills, he is a prospect that teams cannot wait to draft. And honestly, if he can bring this momentum into the NFL, we are looking at someone that can rival the Jamar Chases, the Justin Jeffersons, all those young wide receivers that are the centerpieces for a dynasty-ridden team, and Marvin Harrison Jr. has all the skills to do so. As a fan, I just want to see him go to the best team available and honestly make a difference right away, because he is that type of player that can do so, and I don't want him to kind of get held back by crappy quarterback play or offensive coordinators not knowing what to do. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to get his, and this draft and this combine is going to show that he is the one of one, those top wide receivers that we love to see coming out of college. But if you guys have made it this far, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more breakdowns like this, and comment just some of your thoughts. And do you think Marvin is the real deal? Do you think he's going to be a top 5, a top 10, a top 15 wide receiver instantly out of the draft? I sure as hell think so, and that's why I made this video. But as always, it's been studs.